Has this ever been you? Hired in the spring and then fired in the fall? Let's talk about that this morning, because that is a very common thing, to be hired in the spring and then fired in the fall. If you're the technician that is being hired in the spring and fired in the fall, I'm going to give you 3 things to make sure that that doesn't happen to you this year. I'm going to show you how you can make sure that you hang on, all right? So we want to stop that from happening. 3 very simple things that's going to help you make sure that you hang on to that job for quite a while. Here's number 1. You see that? Now this might be showing backwards, so if it's showing backwards, let me read it to you. It says number 1, low callbacks. Enhance your tech skills and communicate well. One of the greatest things that's going to help you stay hired on at your company during the slow times, because that's what happens, right? People get hired up when it's about to get busy. We got to stock our staff, and then we got to reduce it when it slows down. If you want to be a technician that's going to hang on through the time and not always having to be let go, then you're going to have to enhance your tech skills, which is to say you're going to have to lower those callbacks. Callbacks are a terrible thing. They cost people a lot of money and a lot of wasted opportunity. So your number 1 tip today is to lower your callbacks. Now notice I also put, this may be backwards, don't worry, when I put it on YouTube, I'll fix that. Communicate well. What in the heck does that have to do with callbacks? Well, what it has to do with callbacks is that a huge portion of callbacks are simply caused by under-communicating. We don't explain to the homeowner what they really need to do. We go for the bare minimums. And what happens anytime we go for the bare minimums is that the client isn't ultimately going to be happy. And you're going to experience callbacks. That's not beneficial if you're a tech. All right, let's go to number 2 on my list. Number 2, if you want to stay on during the slow times, you better understand how to produce high results. High results. Seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it? But the reality of it is that those people wouldn't be getting laid off in the slow times if they had the skill sets to produce at a continual high result. Now you may be saying to yourself, Todd, well, it's the fault of my business owner. They're not getting continual leads. And I'm going to say that may very well be true as well. Business owners, you have a responsibility for high results as well. You must bring in the calls. But if you want high results, here's what you need to boost. You need to boost your sales numbers. Hey, by the way, this is a performance-based game. Get used to that. Accept it. Don't be mad about it. It is a reality. So even if you're paid an hourly pay, totally fine. You're not being, you're not having your pay increased or lowered based off production. This is still a performance-based game if you're in the residential trades. Your hourly pay is going to end up being a byproduct of your ability to produce, and a smart manager is going to be watching that. So don't kid yourself. You still have to bring in revenue if that is in the position you're in, and it is. So you got to bring in revenue. If you're more in a lead setting position, you got to be great at setting leads. You got to have a good closing percentage. So if you want to stay on, it's very simple. You've got to get great results. By the way, that is not to say, as I always have to repeat this a million times, great results is a byproduct of amazing service, communicating well, and a happy client. It is not a byproduct of lying to your client. That's con artistry. We don't do that here, and I know my audience doesn't either. All right, here is the very last one. It's lower your PITA factor. If you don't know what PITA is, it stands for your pain in the anatomy factor. Now, guys, don't get mad at this one. By the way, can you hear that thunder? That's pretty cool. Don't get mad at this one, but there is a deep, deep reality that a lot of the type of technicians that are fired in the fall and hired in the spring, the ones that work when things are busy, they have a very high PITA factor. Now, I'm going to help you out with that because I believe I can help you lower your PITA factor. Here's one of the first things I want to share with you is that I want you to get a lot better at managing, notice number 1, your money. You need to manage your debt. You need to manage your savings. How you like that handwriting? You got to manage your money. It is critically important that you manage your money. Because your money is a byproduct of what will often be the problem with your PETA factor. You go in to the summer, and perhaps you haven't had some money saved up because it's been a lean winter. And oftentimes, technicians are going to owners, and they're looking for raises that aren't necessarily due yet. They're even asking for loans. And I'm going to share with you guys, that is a high PETA factor for most homeowners. By the way, guys, I love you technicians. I'm not trying to insult you. I hope this isn't insulting you. But what I'm going to share with you is until you get a grasp on your money and until you're managing it well, that's going to always cause a problem for you. So you got to get a grasp on your money. You got to save your money. You got to be able to manage your debts. Really important. Really important. Number 2 on here, your attitude. Your attitude. You control your attitude, right? Now, things may make your attitude better on some days and worse on some other days, but your attitude is important. If you're one of these new employees into the company, they're going to be looking for optimism from you. They're going to be looking for results from you. And nobody likes a wet blanket on a party. So bring your positive energy. Don't throw wet blankets. Don't be the guy that's distracting, and don't be the guy that's deterring from the positivity of a company. And that goes to the last thing, drama. Drama. Guys, one of the things that I have witnessed in a lot of companies is a lot of those guys that are the ones that don't stay through are the ones that bring a high level of drama into their life. And that drama is wrapped up in all different kind of ways. But it is interesting that the people that are always sick or always have an issue or always need time off or always got a pressing family emergency tends to also be the ones that don't stay through. They're the ones that tend to get laid off. And guys, what I'm talking to you about is I want you not to get laid off. I want you to have a long-lasting career. I want you to stay with a company. I want you to have a low amount of drama. These drama folks are also the ones who seem to always have the other person entertaining them. And sure, you're being entertained when it's hot. Everybody wants you when it's hot. That's not the problem. The problem is when it slows down. And what we're talking about is staying through. Finding a company that you can work out and stay through that company for the long haul. All right. So we're talking about this morning. Those are the topics. How to get hired in spring, or not, let me rephrase that. For those that get hired in spring and fired in the fall, these are some of the ways that you reduce there, right? So as a repeat, number 1, work on your callbacks, increase your technical skills, increase your communication skills so that you're getting approval for the right things. Number 2, increase your results. If you want to stay on, be a big producer. Nobody fires big producers. Number 3, lower your PETA factor. Lower your PETA factor. If you want to be part of a long-lasting company, you got to be a low pain in the anatomy. That's important. You can substitute that A for any other A that you want. By the way, do you hear that thunder? Isn't that freaking cool? Let me show you what I see right now. I see gray skies. I see gray skies. It's beautiful. It's raining. So let's talk about that a little. We've actually got this neighborhood thing that we're trying to do today, and we were planning it shortly, and the rain is coming and it's kind of messing it up. But you know what? That is life. That is life. Things happen that you plan, and other outside circumstances come in and they mess it up. But don't let it terribly affect your attitude. So what we're going to do is we're just going to shift it and we're going to work on it later. All right.